So this will probably come as a shock to no one who knows that Fate has a stupid sense of humor, but the only other person who came along to the "it's just dinner with friends, it's not a date" thing was Bradley. That's right, Sir talks to hear his own voice, Bradley. So it wasn't so much of a fun group outing as two people who are sort of on a date, plus two extra people who hate each other. Fun times! Claudia wanted to dress up for the dinner, which is fine, but she didn't want to be the only one dressed up, so she made me dress up too. And I asked her why it would be that anyone would be dressed up for a fun group outing among friends that was just dinner, but by then she'd already selected my dress and twisted my hair up into this thing. I guess if it makes her feel comfortable, I'll do it, but it was weird. And then when we showed up at the restaurant, I saw Hugo sitting at a table with Bradley. So I grabbed Claudia aside and demanded to know if anyone else was coming too. Brad was the only one who could come, sorry. From now on, Claudia's gonna be the Viagra dinosaur. Okay, just heads up. Why didn't you tell me? Because you wouldn't have come. No, I would have come to help you in your very strange quest to become face-sucking partners with Hugo, but I would have at least found a skunk on the way over, pissed it off, and then I would have a wonderful Bradley repelling perfume. I certainly wouldn't have worn a dress. But Claudia just kind of shrugged and dragged me in. Hugo, being the polite guy that he is, said, "You both look so lovely." Though he definitely didn't even see me. He was looking at Claudia. Well, at least he has good taste. And then Bradley had to ruin something nice with, "Bonbon, I'm amazed to see you out of a business suit. I would have thought that by now it was fused to your skin." Of course I don't wear a suit outside of work. So I said, "Oh, Brad, your hair looks so nice gelled like that. It almost hides your horns." And then Claudia shot me a look that very clearly said, "You shut up right now because I am trying to get this guy to eat my face and you are seriously ruining the mood right now." Bradley must have also seen the look because he shut up. Then Claudia and Hugo proceeded to make googly eyes at each other and talk about nothing and everything. Okay, yeah, it was mostly movies and law school and work, but it was like, "This is the most important thing I have ever said ever. What are your thoughts on Tobey Maguire versus Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man?" And it was very obvious just a few minutes in that Bradley and I were entirely unnecessary on this not date. So the way I saw it, we could, 1, sit there in awkward silence and suffer through the sickeningly sweet nonsense that was happening. 2, talk to each other, which would lead to an argument, but that would probably ruin their not date. Or 3. 3. I can count. Or 3. We could go to the bar and let the kids talk without their chaperones. Now, this would mean time in close proximity to Bradley, with no one else around to water down the stupid, but I told myself that it was all for Claudia. So I said, "Bradley, how about we go to the bar?" "Why? I'm annoying and oblivious to everything that happens around me." "Stop it, mustache. Stop it." So I kicked him under the table and glanced at Claudia and Hugo, and he said, "Oh!" And then we quickly retreated to the bar. Good idea. Of course it was a good idea. I know when to leave to allow young love to bloom without my dazzling personality around to outshine anyone. He kind of chuckled at that, and we decided to order from the bar so we wouldn't disturb the lovebirds. "So, do you really think they like each other?" "Obviously." "Well, yeah, obviously, Hugo, but I don't know Claudia that well." "She is similarly infatuated, but if you let that slip to Hugo, I will actually murder you in your sleep. And you know that I'm a good enough lawyer to get away with it too." "Yeah, but corporate law and criminal law are hardly the same thing. Besides, who's to say that I wouldn't come back from the grave to prosecute you? Do you really think that you could beat me, dead or alive?" And then we argued about that for a while, but then as we were finishing up our dinner, the conversation took a turn for the weird. "They've decided that they like each other rather fast, don't you think?" "Yeah, I do, but who's to say it's serious? Maybe they're both just looking for something light." "Not Hugo. He's like the 'I will find my soulmate and nothing less will suffice' kind of guy." It's really not that fast, considering that Claudia hangs out with me all the time. I mean, all the guys just love me, and some of that super attractiveness must have just rubbed off on her. It's such a shame that I have this super love-inducing quality, and yet I love no one. That is lucky for the rest of the world, or some unlucky guy would have to deal with all of this. But I'm right there with you. I would rather hear nails on a chalkboard than hear a woman tells me she loves me. I hope you always feel that way. Otherwise, some woman would have to deal with all of this. And then the conversation continued like that for a while, and eventually I said, everyone is so obsessed with romance, but there are benefits to being single. I've got no strings to hold me down, to make me fret or make me frown. I just want to live while I'm alive, 'cause it's my life. I'm fancy-free and free for anything fancy. Wow, you really need to let it go. This was a game that we'd play in college. Being the dorks that we are, we'd have entire conversations in song lyrics. Anyway, I said, when you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing's changed at all? He looked like he was about to say something, but then Claudia and Hugo came to get us because the restaurant was closing. You know, that was actually the least awful conversation that I've had with Bradley in years. Sometimes I just... Anyway, we'll see if he can keep up the not terrible behavior. And how the Claudia-Hugo thing turns out. To be continued!